Welcome back to Dualsighted. We're back. Jake Paul, he just made an offer he can't refuse to Dana White. Following Tuesday, Tuesday's Dana White's Contender Series, a reporter asked Dana White what he thought about last week's, Triller event, which obviously if you guys missed it, it was, it featured Anderson Silva, UFC legend, and, again, another UFC legend, Tito Ortiz, and another UFC legend, Vitor Belfort versus Evander Holyfield. That was controversial. Evander Holyfield approaching his 60s. We're not going to get into that, but I mean, White expressed that Silva needs to be in the MMA GOAT conversation and, guaranteed that Jake Paul would not be calling out Silva next. And, Jake Paul, on the other hand, he's coming off a, 8th round split decision win over Tyron Woodley. In late August, we reacted to it. It was a very great fight. He proved that he could stay 8 rounds, and he's been busy with calling out a UFC fighter still under contract with the UFC, and he goes by the name of, guess who it is?
McGregor, right?
No, not McGregor. It's Jorge Gamebred Masvidal, who, Masvidal and Paul were both friendly. I don't know if you remember, but they were both friendly earlier this year. Around the time for the Jake Paul versus Askren fight. Paul was also seen training with Masvidal, around the same time, and even FaceTimed, Masvidal and showed, that's when he showed Askren, and they were, trolling Askren. But, on Tuesday, Paul called out Jorge Masvidal, and, this is the first video here, and you guys be the judges here.
Jorge, got some millions for you to fight. Is your daddy gonna let you come out? He gonna let you come out and play, Daddy Dana? Fucking bitch. If he ever lets you out of that contract, I'm baptizing the fuck out of you.
Well, does that kind of seem like a little forced?
Yeah, it definitely looks like an act, in my opinion.
In my opinion too, but I mean, if either way, if this fight comes to, fruition, I think it's going to be a great fight. But I mean, in reaction to this, UFC president Dana White also, the reporter asked him about Jay calling out Jorge, and this is what Dana had to say.
George Masvidal was kind of jawing back and forth with him.
Masvidal's under contract with me.
Well, you said he is under contract.
Yeah.
Right, that's the thing, and you got Jake over here just saying, well, just get Dana, let you out. Let Dana, let you fight him. Is at some point, do you want to bring a ringer in to take the kid out?
Hey, Jake, Anderson's out. Anderson Silva's out. Jake?
So I mean, he's obviously, poking fun at, Jake Paul. Anderson Silva knockout. He knocked out Tito Ortiz on Saturday, Triller event. Great fight. He's a legit boxer. He also beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. So he's definitely, Anderson Silva definitely has a bright future ahead of him as a boxer. But the very next day, this was, on Tuesday night after the Dana White Contender Series. The very next day, Jake Paul tweeted out to Dana, stating, "At Dana White, why you so scared to get embarrassed?" And then the statement that he put under the tweet stated, "Anderson's out. Jake. I want your star talent. You're in their prime strikers, so I can exploit their lack of boxing ability. So let's do this. Me versus Jorge Masvidal and Amanda Serrano versus Amanda Nunes. If we win, you let any of your fighters fight me going forward. If we lose, I leave you and your exploitive business alone. Dana. So, I mean, is this a good deal?
I mean, it's not that Dana White will never consider it,
but it's a reasonable deal, huh? Or you don't think so? Because I mean, if he said it himself, like if he loses versus Masvidal, he's gonna leave the fighters alone. So that means no.
Yeah, I don't think that's
McGregor.
I don't think Dana cares about that. I think
if anything, I think he cares about the attention, huh? If anything, I think Dana wants him, the Jake Paul calling, all the UFC fighters out. I think he wants that deep down. He acts like he doesn't want it, but I think he does. But I mean, in Masvidal's offense or his defense, he's reportedly meeting with the UFC this week to discuss a potential fight versus Leon Edwards, which they if you guys don't know, they already have beef with the backstage incident, the 2-piece and the soda. And Leon Edwards wants to fight for a, he wants to wait for a title shot, but I mean, Masvidal is meeting with the UFC brass to discuss a potential Leon Edwards fight. Is this a risk for Leon Edwards if he wants to wait it out? Because Masvidal is a legit, I mean, you've seen what Diaz almost did to Edwards. I think that, Masvidal could very much do that.
I mean, if it's not now, when will it be? I don't know. I feel like if he doesn't take this opportunity, I don't know if it'll ever come again.
And Leon Edwards has had, bad luck. I don't know. I think it's a risk, but I mean, I don't know. He's definitely not going to get a title shot this year with the, Usman and Covington later in November or early November. So I mean, he's going to have to wait for sure early 2022. So I mean, I don't know if Leon's, willing to wait for that. But we'll see if that happens. But either way, Masvidal is one of the biggest UFC stars. So people will definitely watch his next fight. We will for sure. And Jake Paul as well. Whether it's, Jake versus Masvidal or, Leon Edwards versus Masvidal, we're all going to see it. So once again, you guys are watching Dualsighted. Follow us on Dualsighted down below. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And comment down below your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Peace.